Hi, welcome to Is It a Film? A podcast that critiques and memes films and asks one very important question: is it a film? I'm your host, Jonathan, aka Jonathan, a Eraserhead baby.
You added the baby.
Yeah.
It was just the Eraserhead.
Nah, I'm gonna go add a Eraserhead baby.
Because it sounds stupid. It's
No, it
Jonathan
doesn't.
Eraserhead.
I am Eraserhead baby.
No, god damn it.
I am baby.
Oh, God. You are a huge ass fucking baby.
Yep. And I'm joined by my ever attentive co-host, my best friend, my pal, my amigo, my droog, Vincent.
AKA Twin Peaks is just another name for my nipples.
Yes, you can't complain about my AKA when that's your
That's
AKA.
a quality AKA.
That is not a
right
quality.
there.
That is the worst
That is
AKA.
best AKA. Best. Somebody say top tier AKA. Are you gonna? Oh wait, I actually have to do that.
Yeah, this is you now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But you didn't go earlier because I gave you the thumbs up symbol and you took like 20 minutes.
I took a little bit because I wanted to let you bring the volume down a little bit more.
I was waiting for you to start.
Why would you put my voice over the noise?
Because you suck.
That's fair. That's actually a fair
This
statement.
is
Yeah,
episode
good job.
three of this is episode 3 of Is It a Film? An episode we would like to call She Made My Dick Disappear, Gave Me a Eraserhead.
See, I knew you were gonna do that because you told me that stupid lie that you I think it was like a year ago.
No,
You
it was like January.
Yeah, it was like a while ago. And you're like, this is like a really funny line I came up with. And so you just sent it to me. I was like, that is pretty funny.
Today we're going over Jonathan's favorite film, Eraserhead. Last week we did my favorite film, Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange.
I
Because young Malcolm McDowell can get it.
he can get it, but he's not in this film, so he can't get it during this film.
A young David Lynch,
Not from me.
not from me, mad props. I love the guy as an artist.
So yeah, we're going over Jonathan's favorite film, Eraserhead. Why is this? We're just going to go into why is it important before we do the basic ass intro. Why is this film important? Because I feel like we didn't set the stakes enough for A Clockwork Orange last time.
But that's
So-
because it's your favorite film and therefore not important.
that hurt.
Clockwork Orange is important though, actually, culturally, and Eraserhead is too, to a more specific extent.
Yeah, it's known as one of the best experimental films of all time and one of the most visionary and I guess fire starter ones. One that started a lot of the cliches of experimental film. It's David Lynch's brainchild. If you don't know who David Lynch is, he's an Academy Award nominated director, created fantastic surrealistic films such as Mulholland Drive and Blue Velvet.
And
he also
Empire,
and then
and
he
Lost Highway.
then he fucked around and made Dune.
Dune's not that bad. Everybody shits on Dune. It's not that bad. Is it not? Is it his best? Hell
I've never
no.
seen it, so
It's not that bad.
I don't think I will.
It's bad, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be.
it's not Joe DeRossi's MF Dune.
No.
So that's all that matters. He's also responsible for creating the mystery horror drama television series Twin Peaks. With
My
Mark
favorite TV
Frost.
show.
Of course it is. Eraserhead is often cited as being one of the biggest influences to filmmakers for its miraculous use of space and sound design. Kubrick says it was his favorite film, and it was an influence he used on The Shining. So going back to last week, this kind of circle. That's why I did last week first.
Literally, you did it last week first for chronology. That's what you said.
Yeah, it is, but it also came into this
Oh, wow. So now you're just bullshitting.
twice.
Congratulations. You understand experimental filmmaking.
Yeah.
Here's your degree.
He said, wait, where is it? I lost my place. He said he reportedly screamed the film for the cast and crew to put them in the mood so they could fuck. No, that they wanted to, for the film they wanted to achieve. But also they would fuck.
Yeah.
It'd get them in the mood. It is part of the midnight movie scene of the late 1960s, 70s, along with films like Night of the Living Dead, El Topo, Pink Flamingos, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I bet Jonathan can blabber on more about that if he wants to.
I mean, you could too. We both did a project on this.
I
scene
don't
together.
remember. I think
I have literally an entire book just on this scene.
it's in the closet. My book is in the closet.
Oh, did you buy your own copy as well? Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. But
It's
yeah,
somewhere.
shit. How many years ago was that? Is that like 3 years ago now?
I don't care. All the years roll into one.
Point being is, me and Vincent in film school had to do a project on a specific movie scene and artistic movement, and we chose the midnight movies, of which Eraserhead is one of the
originals.
It's not one of the. It's one of. It was one of the later period ones, but it's considered like one of the biggest like figureheads of it. Like
It's one of the ones that like.
It's the most iconic, other than maybe Rocky Horror.
Yeah, but it's also one of the ones that like it was birthed in the scene.
Yeah,
and like Rocky Horror was like a flop, wasn't it? And
Rocky Horror was the one that like was able to survive outside of the scene, like outside of the midnight movies.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Like it was the one that like made it like commercial and mainstream.
I'm trying to remember which one was the flop. There's one that was a huge flop, and then it went into the movie. It's not in this one, but
no.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Fando We List, the one I talked about when we did the?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember one was like a huge flop. And it,
Night of the Living Dead was a huge flop until it was brought back in
that's
the
probably
movies.
what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that one. But yeah, basic ass intro of Eraserhead. We're gonna go through this real fast. Directed, produced, edited, sound design composer, and written by David Lynch. It's
Did a lot.
His debut feature film.
Yep.
Feature length film. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you give a short summary of his 6 short films that he did before this.
6 men getting six times.
No, let me list them all. 6 men getting six times.
Oh, you're.
And then you respond.
Okay. So 6 men getting six times. David Lynch's first foray into filmmaking. He went to school as a painter, and when he got time to do like his final like art project, it had to be like an experimental type of like painting, like experimental medium. And he got the idea when he was like painting like plants on like a paper just to like get something like out, and he saw the wind like moving the paper, and he was like got the idea of movement. So he created a series of paintings that would then be projected onto sculptures he created of 6 men getting sick, and it would repeat 6 times.
Yeah. I actually am making a parody of this currently. It's called 6 Men Getting Dripped 6 Times. They're all smoking vapes. They have Supreme shirts on, and they're listening to Playboy Cardi. Because it gets dripped. Did you get dripped, Jonathan? Are you woke? Are you hip?
Now we're recording live. I can't just walk out on your bad jokes because it fucks everything up, and you can't just cut back. But I wanted to walk out.
Absurd encounter with fear.
This one is one of like of his like early periods. I consider to be kind of one of his lesser ones. A woman is approached in a field by like a dark figure, and like the events going on are like kind of absurd and weird. It doesn't have like a lot going for it, like in terms of style or even substance. Really, it's just kind of him fucking around, I guess.
Fictitious Anison?
Anison? I've never actually been able to track this one down to watch.
Oh, it's not on the Blu-ray? Because I know the Alphabet and Amputee and 6 Men Getting Sick are all on the Blu-ray.
I haven't gotten the Criterion version of that yet.
So is that on that?
I don't know. It might be, but I haven't been able to watch that one yet.
Let's do some research! Yeah, research time. While I'm doing research, you should look up the Alphabet. Tell me about the Alphabet, even though that's one I've actually seen.
The Alphabet. That's actually probably my favorite of his early short films. In it, David Lynch was inspired. He had to come up with a project, like, because he was on a deadline. He had been given money to make something, and he hadn't produced anything yet for like a couple of months. And he was inspired when he was listening to like I think it was his niece or like. Maybe it was like his sister-in-law. It was somebody like who was young, and she had this weird like nightmare, and all she would do is she kept repeating the alphabet in this really horrifying manner. And so David Lynch was trying to create what he thought that dream might be, and it mixes like very cool animation with like frightening imagery, and it pretty much is the film that clearly like sets up like what David Lynch would be in the future.
Yeah. The Grandmother.
His longest of like his short films. A boy plants a seed that grows into a plant that is a grandmother to escape from his horrible abusive household. She is kind of just the refuge for him, and it's a kind of shockingly sweet for how weird and disturbing it is.
But does he drive a tractor across country?
No, that's a straight story.
That should be every story.
But good short.
And then Amputee, one of the ones I've actually seen.
Amputee is like this weird like one where he had like 2 different film stocks, and he was just testing the differences between them. So he just shot the
Is
same...
that why there's 2 versions?
Yeah, there's 2 versions of it.
I didn't know that part. I knew he was testing film stocks, but I didn't know there was 2 versions of it.
Yeah, so he did 2 versions of it. It's just a woman who's giving her bandages like change, and like it's kind of weird because like they're clearly just like cutting into her leg, like making pus come out, like fake, obviously. But while she's just going through like this like writing a letter or something, so it was just a weird thing. It was more just of a technical exercise and like an actual like artistic piece.
Yeah, that's the one I saw before, and I just didn't I just find it kind of lame, actually.
Yeah, it's one that doesn't connect because I don't think it's really supposed to. It's more, again, it's a technical exercise.
The soundtrack was created by David Lynch, Peter Ivers, and Fats Waller.
Oh,
Lynch,
was it on there? The Anderson commercial?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I assumed it would be, but I don't know. Soundtrack was created by David Lynch, Peter Ivers, and Fats Waller. Lynch contributed a majority of the soundtrack, which is this weird precursor to the dark ambient genre. It had like this. It's like before like ambient kind of music kind of started, before Brian Eno's Ambient 1 / Music for Airports by like a year, because that came out in 78. This came out in 77. About around the time of the birth of the industrial stream, because that's like mid 70s, so it kind of played a factor into it. It's also in this like post Trout Mask replica era of music, so we're getting into this like weird terrain of just like music, just this abstract gibberish at times if it really wants to be. The 2 tracks included on this album feature excerpts of organ music by Fats Waller, and the song "In Heaven" was written by Peter Ivers. Which is very important to this film. Cinematography was done by Frederick Elms and Halbert Cardwell. It stars Jack Nance, and Charlotte Stewart, both who would later go to star in Twin Peaks.
Rest in peace, Jack.
Yeah, because he died in Twin Peaks.
He died in the gap between season 2 and 3.
No, didn't he die in the show too?
His character did, yeah,
Yeah.
but like the actual actor also died in between.
I don't care about the actor. I care about the fictional character that I related to. And Eraserhead was produced with the assistance of the American Film Institute during Lynch's time studying there. The film nonetheless spent several years in principal photography. I think like 7.
5 years.
5? Okay.
David Lynch actually lived in the room that was the set as his like apartment during the off shooting times, because he couldn't afford to keep the rent for the set and an apartment at the same time, so he just lived on the set. That nasty ass
Just like
set.
I do.
Yeah.
This nasty, beautiful, wonderful set.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful.
It's wonderful.
In heaven, everything will be as awesome as the set.
I'm going to hell.
The hell is just like Fantano's set. And he chomps at your ass.
And it's just couch to chest all the time, 24/7.
No, it's just like he's a giant melon and he chomps at your butthole.
Am I constantly stuck in the whack cow zone?
Yes. Donations from Frisk and his wife Sissy Spacek kept production afloat. And yeah, that's the basic bitch intro. We made that not basic bitch length, but oh well.
Yeah.
You ready for the most important, crucial part of the show?
Yes.
The Wikipedia summary.
The Wikipedia summary.
of the plot. Wikipedia is the greatest resource known to Wham. And also Wham. It's great. George Michael loves Wikipedia.
Wham loves it.
He did when he was alive.
Humankind loves it. And it's also the greatest resource in the land.
In the land, known
For
to man.
Wham, known to man.
In the sand.
Of Dune.
Yeah, and then also Pam from The Office. She likes Wikipedia
Yeah.
quite a bit. So yeah, every time we are gonna do this, we're gonna go over the plot. And Jonathan, can you do me a favor and read off the plot again? Greatest summary. Greatest summary. If there's a point in here, it doesn't matter. Because Wikipedia is good at critiquing only the stuff that matters.
Yeah.
Curating the only stuff that matters.
The man in the planet, played by Jack Fisk, pulls levers in his home in space, while the head of Henry Spencer, played by Jack Nance, floats in the sky. A giant spermatozoon, like, basically looks like sperm.
I think that's what spermatozoon is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It looks like sperm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like sperm.
It is sperm.
Yeah, it looks like sperm and is representative of sperm.
So it is sperm.
Yeah. Creature emerges from Spencer's mouth, floating into the void. Yeah, I think the summary gets it later, so if not, I'll come back to it. The man in the planet appears to control the creature with his levers, eventually making it fall into a pool of water. I don't know if that's water. It's like really milky white. I think it's supposed to be semen.
Everything's supposed to be semen.
That's the fate about this film.
Why do you think they call it Eraserhead?
I'm pretty sure like 90%, actually probably like 95% of the imagery in this film is meant to be like representative of something sexual. So,
Semen. No, it's all semen.
it's all semen.
It's all semen.
It's all semen.
Eraserhead, baby. Giant semen.
Giant.
Just giant semen. I think this is when it comes crucial to how important the kind of the sound design is and why it's so crucial. It's just that industrial darkness, definitely a precursor to Silent Hill 2 soundtrack.
The loud squeaking as he pulls the levers.
Weird kind of mechanical sex-like noises.
Yeah.
Both in the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack
and in this
soundtrack. If you want to have good soundtrack, sex noises that are not sex noises.
Exactly. You take machinery and you just make it sound like it's two machines fucking.
Basically, you take two objects.
Echoey.
So, like, I have this watch and Eraserhead DVD for those who are listening audio, and you go up to them and go like, and they just had sex.
But then you slow it down, and you make it. No, like you keep the speed and then you slow it down so you get the distortion. We know how to make soundtracks.
Or you could do this.
That's only for making an Aphex Twin soundtrack.
But you got to do the hi-hats. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
See, Trevor, you do the hi-hats good. Trevor can't do the hi-hats. He always fucks up. He goes like he's doing some weird... Yeah, I know. Trevor's a music education major.
Fuck you, Trevor.
The hi-hat. See, you have like do hi-hats and he does it. Trevor's always really hesitant to do hi-hats. I don't know why. Maybe because it's weird out by any fixed twin track.
That makes sense.
Go back to whatever.
In an industrial cityscape, Spencer walks home with his groceries.
This is the best.
Such a basic way of describing what is like a 10-minute sequence of bleakness.
Is it 10 minutes? I don't think. I think the beginning section.
The
Man on the Planet
it's
sequence.
20 minutes before any dialogue is spoken in the film. Like that's like a known fact.
But I'm pretty sure that's like all the first segment because I think
the first segment's like 10 minutes and there's another 10 minutes of him walking to his apartment.
See, that just comes off as like pure. I love that sequence.
It's so good.
I love the sequence of just him walking in this like industrial shithole and all like the grime,
stepping in like a puddle.
Yeah.
And like just how gross everything is, and like then he gets to like this really dark like alleyway, and there's like these like just pipes and poles and just all this like not even like machinery, it's just metalworking just everywhere.
Every time I think about that, I think when we went back to the dystopian class, and you're trying to make an argument for why Eraserhead's a dystopian film.
It is.
Yeah, I always think about that beginning scene because that sets it up like so perfectly of why it kind of could be a surrealist dystopian.
It's like a dystopian film that's pulls away like all of the like over the top traditional elements of dystopia, where it's like you got to have the government, you got to have it. It's dystopian in that this is just an industrial shithole that is just like modern America. And it's shitty. Yeah. And dystopian. And that's all it is. It doesn't need to have all the extra shit. There's just a bunch of
semen everywhere.
Yeah.
Someone just came.
People are just fucking in the streets, leaving their cum everywhere. No one knows how to use a condom.
To quote Ben Chang from Community, I just didn't masturbate in the study room. I masturbated everywhere.
That is Eraserhead.
Oh my god.
He is stopped outside his apartment by the beautiful girl across the hall, played by Judith Ann Roberts, who informs him that his girlfriend Mary X, played by Charlotte Stewart, has invited him to dinner with her family. He's super awkward. It's very clear that he's trying to hide his chub. And yeah.
It's also he's drying his like socks on his like radiator, and that's like one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. Also he has like a bunch of dirt.
There's just like random mounds of dirt with like twigs sticking out of them like everywhere in the apartment.
Wait, you don't do that?
No.
You don't have just random fucking dirt? Is that not mentioned in the notes?
No, the dirt's not mentioned in the notes. There's something else I'm trying to see if there's mentioned in the notes.
Oh, it is, yeah. Filled with piles of dirt and dead vegetation. I guess we just didn't get there yet.
Yeah. Spencer leaves his groceries at his apartment, which is filled with piles of dirt and dead vegetation. That night, Spencer visits X's home, conversing awkwardly with her mother. At the dinner table, he is asked to carve a chicken that X's talkative father, Bill, played by Alan Joseph, calls man-made. I think one part of it knows like the chicken's fucking tiny.
Yeah,
it's like the size of your fist.
Also, another thing to note: there's the weird grandmother character
Who's
just essentially in a vegetative state,
and like everybody like will put things in her hand and make her like work salad while putting cigarettes in her mouth and lighting them for her, and then just leaving.
Most beautiful fucking thing in the world.
Yeah,
just that fucking nonsensical treatment is great.
Yeah,
and it's like it's so stupid, but it's actually a good critique of how people treat people in those like older days, but also people in vegetative states.
Yeah,
like they'll try to get them out when it's almost kind of pointless in a sense.
Yeah. The bird arrives on the plate and gushes blood. While it's gushing blood,
it's like
Mary's mother is like having like a fucking orgasm across the fucking table. Like she's just going like the whole fucking time, like it's bleeding out and like bubbles are popping
that's
out
just
of
that's
it.
just a new normal Tuesday dinner for me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Remind me to never eat with your family.
It just reminds me of that scene when Harry met Jack or whatever.
Oh, and she like fakes the orgasm in the diner.
I don't know.
Like, I'll have what she's having. Except nobody would say that this year.
Can we make that short film?
Yes.
Just that one scene, but it's done in the Eraserhead universe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the whole sequence is just awkward and uncomfortable and gross, grimy,
filthy,
and like the whole time, like
there's perfect sound design with the chicken. It's like squeaking. There's like air coming out of its ass or something.
Yeah, and like
because that's you got all the chicken. It's all air. You gotta let it come out.
Yeah, and like it's like basically like shitting like blood, and it's like doing these bubbles, and like the mom's
that's how you know it's a good chicken.
Freaking the fuck out. And, like, her daughter freaks the fuck out. At some point, she, like, starts, like, whining like a dog. And, like, someone starts scratching her behind the ears. She, like, licks her hand and shit. The dad's just going on about how he laid all the pipe works and, like, all the neighborhoods. And his knees are, like, fucked up because of it. And it's just... Eventually, like, it gets to the point where, like, Mary, like, runs out of the room. And, like, the mother goes with her. And then the dad just sits there, like, it doesn't even give a shit. Like, nothing's even happened. It's such, like, this, like, odd... terrifying critique of like
nuclear
family shittiness.
It is in a term. It actually is a nuclear family.
Yeah,
because they are all irradiated the fuck.
So after that insanity that is dinner, Spencer's cornered by X's mother, who asks him if he and Mary had sexual intercourse, and then tries to kiss him. All the while, so during this sequence, she's just like all on him, just like, and she never says like, "Did you have sex? Did you fuck?" It's always like, "Did you have sexual intercourse?" It's always still like,
I guess X gone give it to him.
X gonna give it. And then like it's just awkward, and like Henry's just like, "That's really none of your business," and then she is like, "Did you have Mary have sexual intercourse?" It's just.
I hate when it's described like that.
In the way it's so fucking weird and uncomfortable, and it's so well made. She tells him that X has had his child and that the two must marry. X, however, is not sure if what she bore is a child. It's it's not said in the notes, but like it's very premature. Like when she says she had a child, like his first statement is like, that's not possible because like biologically it shouldn't be possible to have a child as premature as this fucking baby was.
There's a way.
In the Eraserhead universe, there's always a way.
In the Eraserhead universe, if there's a will, there's a way.
There's a way. The couple move into Spencer's one-room apartment and begin caring for a child, a swaddled bundle with an inhuman snake-like face resembling the spermatozoan-like creature from earlier.
Yeah. This is actually David Lynch's real child.
Okay, he has an actual child.
It's the real one.
And she's a director, and she seems like a perfectly fine human being.
She was this.
She was... Fun thing is,
in the end,
nobody actually knows how the Eraserhead baby was made, or like what it's made out of, because David Lynch refused to let anybody else work with it. He was always the one in charge of puppeteering it. He would pretty much keep all of the like cinematographers out of like the room when sequences with it were involved. So like he's the only one who knows what it's made out of or how it even worked.
This is like I'm looking up something. It's like 50% joke, but it's like kind of 50% real.
A lot of people think it's made out of a cow fetus.
So this is meat. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna probably put it on screen. Like an actual photo of it, but it's a meme that was like made for this commercial in like the early 2000s, and it became popular because of Twitch streamer Vine Sauce, and people were like sending him this image. But I think it's actually modeled similar because this thing has like a mouth, and it's all stretchy, but it's being puppeteered. So I think it's made out of like elastic, similar to this thing is, because they look kind of similar. This is a worm that's like a dead baby.
But like the way its eyes look, and like the way its eyelids and like everything is, it looks like an animal fetus.
It's his real baby.
Used. It's not his real baby.
Real baby. In the beginning, we all start out like that, Jonathan. This is why Republicans. This is what happens. This is what we're like. Like when the heartbeat happens, that's what we look like immediately.
Then you know what? I'm even more pro-abortion than I have ever been, and I am very pro-abortion.
Just imagine, that'd be like the best thing. Just like you start out like that, and like 9 months later you're human, but you start out like that,
and you don't change until the exact 9 months. Jesus Christ. The infant refuses all food, crying incessantly and intolerably. Something that I've just looked for the notes the film skips over is like Henry at some point gets like this package in his mail, and there's like just a dead grub inside of it, and he doesn't know where it comes from. Oh, never explained where it comes from. He just has it, and instead of like doing the normal thing of like ew gross and throwing it away, he puts the grub out of the box in his like sock drawer. Has nothing to make sense in this world. Doesn't need to. The sound drives X hysterical, and she leaves Spencer and the child in this like really awkward way. Like when she like leaves, she's like, "I've had enough of this. I'm going back with my mother." And then she gets her suitcase out of the bed, but it's stuck. But it's framed from like Henry's point of view, so all you have is just Mary like head barely above the top of the bed, just and like making the whole fucking bed shake.
I don't think that it's awkward. I think that it's just like she's fucking the bed.
That's what it looks like, and it goes on for like 2 minutes. And like I watched this.
To me, honestly, it could have gone on more.
It could have.
It's like I think it could have gone into a full-on sequence where have you ever seen that like. It's like, I can't think of the video, the interpretive dance video where the guy has the pole attached to his penis and he's hitting the fucking rod above his
just
head.
Goes into that.
It could have gone on to that, like, full-on sequence. Like,
yeah, so like
it didn't push far enough. The envelope is not pushed far enough in that scene.
No, it's not. Like, I was watching it with, like, Max, my girlfriend, and, like, literally, like, we're watching this, she's like, what the fuck is she doing? And I was like, just wait. The payoff's not worth it, but wait. And so, like, yeah, she just gave, like, her bag from underneath the bed in this really awkward way, and then she just throws shit in there, or no, she doesn't. It's already packed. It's been packed and ready to go, and she just takes it and leaves. And leaves Henry, who's unemployed at this point. It never mentions that. He's unemployed throughout the entire film. He's, as he puts it, on vacation, but he's been on vacation for, like, fucking months. Which is another way of saying it. His ass got fired, and he's never found another job.
No, it's just a staycation.
I guess. And so she leaves him alone with the baby, except when she's not and when she comes back later on. Spencer attempts to care for a child, and he learns that it struggles to breathe and has developed painful sores. Literally, it doesn't develop the painful sores till he turns its back on it. And it immediately turns back around. It's just fucking covered in sores. And it has the fucking best line in the whole film of he was like checking its temperature, and it's fine. And he leaves, turns back around, and he's like, oh, you are sick. And it's so fucking... I love that scene. It's my favorite line in the whole fucking movie. Spencer begins experiencing visions, again seeing the man in the planet, as well as the lady in the radiator, played by Laurel Neer, who sings to him as she stomps upon spermatozoon-like creatures. This is where the song in heaven comes in. She sings a song. The basic lyrics are like, in heaven, everything is fine. You have your good things, and I have mine. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it's so haunting.
And it's very pre-Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
It's very Black Lodge scene.
It's got the curtain, you have the checkered floors, you have the lights surrounding the stage, and you have like the focused in. It's very much like the Black Lodge scenes and the dancing, weird dance scenes that you have. It's
essentially just the entire season of Twin Peaks 3.
Yeah.
That's just all this, essentially.
So like a couple of those go on. The grub from earlier, like at one point, like grows super big and disappears, and then reappears like on the planet, going in and out of holes, slowly getting bigger until like it explodes open. Um, the baby keeps being the baby. It keeps like just being sick and constantly crying. Henry just it never says it, I don't think.
What?
Yeah, it never at any point says that Mary comes back, but she does come back, and at one point there's like a sequence. Yeah, I'm just seeing through it. They never talk about it in this vein. But there's a sequence when Mary comes back, and she's like making this like weird noise in bed, and then like he looks down and she has like the spermatozoan creatures like sticking out of her. It's like he's like ripping them out of like basically her vagina and then like throwing them against the wall for them to explode. Just keeps like doing this over and over again.
Yeah, because sperm have legs. They can crawl.
Yeah.
I don't know who was talking about that the other day. Someone was talking. Some podcast, some show was talking about the other day if sperm had legs and they would like crawl up. That's the end game.
Oh. Yeah, basically there's just like a bunch of really weird fucking scenes that seem to happen with very little like chronology or like sense of time, which is kind of like the beautiful part of this film. Then it gets to like the main points.
Was that the main point?
Yes.
Weird sex noise. That was just a burp.
Yeah. After a sexual encounter with the beautiful girl across the hall, Spencer has a vision where he is decapitated by a creature resembling a child. That's a bad way of describing it because it's not like the creature like comes up like cuts its head off.
Yeah,
it literally just like
it just pops off.
Yeah, his head
like
shoots off of his
like
body, and then like the little baby's head like comes up and sticks out of his suit in this hilarious image that I love. Yeah, stump resembles a child's, revealing a stump underneath that resembles a child's face, and like the hands just start like grabbing a hold of this pole, just start like twisting it like insanely, like all like hunched in, and like it's it's beautiful. Soon afterwards, Spencer's head sinks into a pool of blood. It doesn't mention that blood came from a tree that wheeled itself out onto the stage on its own and then started bleeding. I feel like that's
normal.
That's normal. Like,
how do you think they get maple syrup? How? How do you think, Jonathan? You think it comes from maple trees? You think they just like we just poke holes in them and they gush out? No, they do it on their own.
Do they?
Yeah.
I hate you.
Because they're sadists. Sadists? Are they sadists? No, they're
Masochists.
Masochists.
Yeah.
Masochists are the ones that like being tortured, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're masochists.
Okay.
They like mass. They're Catholic. They go to mass.
So it sinks into the pool of blood and then falls from the sky, landing on a street below, right next to a homeless guy who looks at it and doesn't give a singular shit.
That's just
Yeah. Regular Tuesday.
Regular Tuesday.
A boy runs up, finds it, and it brings it to a pencil factory to be turned into erasers. And it's like great sequence of it. Like they drill into the head and like remove part of its brain, and then like they put it through like this machine where like it then turns into like these eraser caps and attaches it to pencils, and it's just such a weird sequence. And like also it's like the only moment of like clear cut like supposed to be like comedy of like this guy who's like constantly yelling at like the clerk. Just like it's just a weird sequence that literally has like no connection to anything else in the film when you think about it at all, like stylistically or like narratively. It's just kind of there, but it's where the film gets its fucking title from, is that they made erasers from his head. And it doesn't even have a narrative weight because he's dead, but then he's alive again, back in his room, no longer in the radiator. He's got his head again, slightly important.
It's almost like the entire scene was just erased by his head.
Anywho, Spencer then seeks out the beautiful girl across the hall, finds her with another man. Crushed, Spencer returns to his room where the child is crying. This is what's like important, is like it's not really crying at this point. Its cries have become like these shortened things that sound like laughing. And like that's the important part that it doesn't say in here, is like the child's basically laughing at him because like during the sex scene, like she got freaked out because she saw the Eraserhead baby's face like staring at her.
That's just the sperm.
Yeah.
Looking for a host.
So he takes a pair of scissors and for the first time removes the child's swaddling. And it is revealed that the child has no skin. The bandages held its internal organs together, and they spill apart after the rags are cut. The child gasps in pain, and Spencer cuts its organs with the scissors. The wounds gust a thick liquid covering the child. It's more like a foam, really, than a liquid. The power in the room overloads as the lights flicker on and off. The child grows to huge proportions. It doesn't mention that its head like shoots off in this long stringy thing first. This kind of starts floating there. Then it starts growing in huge proportions.
I came everywhere.
Exactly.
Again, the quote of Eraserhead.
When the light burns out completely, the child's head is replaced by the planet. Spencer appears amidst a billowing cloud of eraser shavings. It doesn't say if the planet explodes. Oh, there it goes. The side of the planet bursts apart. That bursts apart before he's amidst the blowing cloud of eraser shavings.
Yeah.
Inside the man, the planet struggles with his levers, which are now emitting sparks. Spencer's embraced, swirling by the later into radiator as both white light and white noise crescendo.
And that's Eraserhead.
That's Eraserhead.
According to Wikipedia. As told by Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So why is this your favorite film, Jonathan?
So whenever people ask me what my favorite film is, and I tell them it's Eraserhead, the two responses I usually get are three responses. First one is what? The second one is why? And the third one is from people who know me, yeah, that makes sense. So,
but none of those are the answer.
None of those are the answers. And the reason why I love this film so much is back when I was in the process of figuring out what the fuck I wanted to do with my life. Was an engineer, but I didn't like engineering. I wanted to do something artistic and creative. I started off originally as a writer, hugely influenced by Franz Kafka. And then I kind of got an interest in drawing and paintings, and I was big into like Stanisław Biskinski and Dali and like the surrealists and the Dadaists.
What about the Mamalist?
No. But so I've always had this fascination with absurdity and surrealism, and I've always been a huge horror nut. So I wasn't.
This film is a giant horror nut.
It is. This film is a giant horror nut. It is a fucking horror coming film.
Oh, you could say it's a coming of age story.
It's a coming of age story.
Jesus Christ, they don't stop, do they?
But
oh my gosh.
No, so I was like, I wasn't really big into film back then. I watched like shitty action films mostly. But I had seen a couple films that like really piqued my interest artistically. Films like the Pink Floyd The Wall film was the first like art film I ever watched. Films like 2001: A Space Odyssey I absolutely adored. So like I recognized that I liked.
What about AI?
I hadn't seen that yet. Shut up.
The quintessential.
I liked like artsy films and I liked odder movies. And so I had seen Un Chien Andalou because it had Dali working on it. And so somebody, I don't even remember who, like suggested like, hey, you should check out Eraserhead. And I was like, why? They're like, it's weird and it's horror. And I was like, fucking sign me right the fuck up. So
But that's so descriptive of like pretty much every horror film.
Yeah.
Like I could tell you Happy Death Day. You would like it because it's weird and it's horror.
But like the person who said it, I trusted. So I looked it up and bought it without even seeing it. I spent $30 to get a Blu-ray from Australia. And at the same time...
The Land Down Under.
The Land Down Under. And at the same time, I also bought a DVD of David Lynch's The Elephant Man. Because it was cheap. And I saw it when I was looking for the other one. And then I watched it, and I immediately just fell in love with its atmosphere, its style, the way that no matter how many times I watch it, I keep picking up on new elements and new things to like help me kind of piece together what the meaning and the grand scheme behind it all is. And the fact that I feel like no matter how many times I watch it, I'll never fully, completely understand what David Lynch was going for. And it made me want to go into film. That was when I knew, like, this is what I have to do. Fuck writing, fuck drawing. I need to make movies. And for that reason, like, alone, that is my favorite, because it's a movie that changed my life, made me the artist and the person that I am today. Mm-hmm. And even if that, that alone makes it my favorite because of its influence on me. But it's just a fantastically made film, so dripping in every sequence and scene with atmosphere and oddity and just the weirdest fucking shit. And you know me, I like weird movies.
Happy Death Day.
Not that kind of weird.
That's a weird movie.
I like good weird. Like surrealism, Dadaism, experimental filmmaking is like the shit that I love. And so yeah, I've always loved this film since the day when I saw it. It's pretty much always been my favorite since that day. Before then, Brazil was my favorite, and then it immediately took Brazil's place.
Yeah.
And then I saw It's Such a Beautiful Day, and that took Brazil's place as second.
Yeah.
That's one we should talk about eventually on the show.
Brazil?
No, well, both. Brazil and It's Such a Beautiful Day.
I don't want to talk about Brazil because, I don't know, after the Olympics, they kind of went downhill. They're kind of fascist. No, they are fascist.
But so, yeah, it's a hugely influential film on me, and it's a film that pretty much ticks all of, like, my little boxes for, like, shit I like. It's creepy. It's in black and white, which I love black and white cinematography. It's fucking weird as shit, and it's something I would be afraid to watch high.
Oh, okay, so essentially Happy Death Day, but if I color graded it in black and white.
Shut up!
Another important question. Does the Elephant Man eat peanuts through his nose?
That is very insensitive if you know anything.
I know, it's about a guy who has, like, facial...
he has, like, full body
deformities.
deformity.
Yeah, but...
And he died because of them.
But does he eat peanuts through his nose?
No, he can't really eat much.
Why do they call him the Elephant Man?
That was his name as, like, a sideshow freak.
Do you look like an elephant?
Not really.
Then why do they call him the Elephant Man?
The, like, story in the movie is that, like, why he was deformed is his mother got trampled by an elephant, but that was fake.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
It should be called, hey, this guy has a funny face, let's laugh at him.
Jesus Christ.
That's what they did.
I mean, from the time frame, yeah, but, like, God
insensitive.
damn, you
I'm
are
just-
insensitive.
I'm telling him the fucking truth.
You're a fucking ass. Damn.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying the people who laughed at him are bad. He was a sideshow. I'm not saying it's good. I just wonder if he ate peanuts through his nose.
No,
I've never
he
seen
did.
the film because I'm assuming he would have like some weird
No,
face.
he-
I've never seen it.
You should. It's good.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna be disappointed now because it doesn't eat peanuts.
Fuck you.
That's the only comparison.
It has
'cause
a great performance by John Hurt and a great performance by Anthony Hopkins.
So the war doctor and the guy I confused for Malcolm McDowell last week.
Yep.
Yeah. In Batman. No, I thought he was in Dark Knight.
No.
Yeah, and then it ended up being
Michael Caine.
Yeah, other Michael. Okay, so I usually like playing segments for this like last bit before we get to the most important crucial question. I couldn't really think of anything good one, so I think this is best time to do this now than ever. I kind of want you to just do a David Lynch impression. And earlier, we recorded an episode of Anthony Todd Show earlier, and I asked you about Scientology, and you went far and beyond with that bit. So I'm hoping you can kind of go far and beyond with this. I'm going to ask you a bunch of different prompts, and I kind of want you to just kind of like...
Do a David Lynch impression and answer them?
If you could kind of, freestyle me one, or
Okay.
what is it?
First, tutorial, how to talk like David Lynch. Step one.
It's...
You plug your nose because
it's like, I don't know, it's kind of sounds like you talked out of your ass instead of your mouth.
yeah,
That's too, like, high. Like, he has some, like, graveliness
there's
to
like
it.
a little bit of gravel to
That's
his
more-
voice. So you gotta like once you've pinched your nose, you have to then deepen your vocal cords as you would to deepen your voice normally, and that makes you talk kind of like David Lynch.
Here, try it with a higher pitch. See if you can do it, but higher.
So just a little bit higher.
So, like, Jenny!
So like God is gay.
It is good enough. Here.
Okay.
Okay. Pretend to be David Lynch. I didn't write any down, but I memorized them.
Oh, okay.
Pretend to be David Lynch committing tax fraud.
Look, all I know is there's a plenty of loopholes here that we can go through, alright? I'm gonna write off all of these fucking mannequins as a tax write-off.
This is just
Why?
Jonathan.
Why? I'm just gonna say it's for a film. Who gives a shit if I've retired from filmmaking? Alright? Those are a tax write-off. Now, after we do this, I'm gonna basically say that this swimming pool full of pudding, that's a tax write-off too.
This is just Jonathan talking. This isn't David Lynch.
And then I'm gonna put it all into an offshore account in the Bermuda Triangle
God damn. With Frank Ocean.
with Frank Ocean and Elvis.
Could you pretend to be David Lynch pitching me the idea of Eraserhead?
Look, you know that one time you had sex and it was very awkward and it went badly for you? We're doing an entire movie about that, but also what if you had a kid from it? brilliant.
Can you tell me, can you pretend to be David Lynch? I'm gonna throw it back a little bit. Can you pretend to be David Lynch telling me what the modern day Dayton, Ohio contemporary term version of droog is?
Look, in Dayton, Ohio, basically you have two things going on here, alright? You have heroin, and you have babies.
You didn't
You have Eraserhead babies on heroin.
You didn't-
So to be a droog is to be an Eraserhead baby on heroin.
This is the worst bit we've ever done.
This is.
I think it gets like, I think we reach a new low every week. But no, this is
We will keep going lower.
someday we're gonna get like so low that we'll actually become good. Like we'll go to the Tommy Wiseau effect, but till then we're gonna like
Yeah.
peak in the fucking. Can you stop?
No.
Oh my god. Can you answer me this question though? Is it a film?
Yes, and as a film.
You didn't even do the bit right. We have a planned bit that you've been doing for the last 2 times. You go like, I go, is it a film? And you go like, no, immediately.
I only didn't know for your film because it was your favorite. I knew that 1 week.
This is not even like funny. It's kind of annoying. It went to like full on David Lynch to where I'm just aggravated by you talking. It is a film.
It is
It's
a
good
film.
film.
It's an amazing film.
And this show's over. I think we need it out of there. If you want to follow the podcast, follow us on. You can subscribe to us if you're listening on audio form on Spotify or Apple Music. Subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/The Anthony and Todd Show. You can give us money monetarily on Patreon, patreon.com/The Anthony and Todd Show. So I can buy a jet ski. I'm gonna
Fuck
buy
your jet ski.
I'm gonna buy a jet ski. And I'm gonna go off a fucking ramp through a fire hoop. I'm gonna fucking die in the process. I'm gonna go out the way the Foz intended, jumping a shark.
Jumping the shark.
And yeah, that's this week's episode of the Anthony and Todd Show. Episode, not Anthony and Todd Show, is a film, and this is episode 3, an episode we like to call she made my dick disappear, gave me a Eraserhead. And until next time, guys, I'm Vincent.
I'm Jonathan.
And see ya, boyos.